Welcome to the Karma Leaders Podcast. Author Dr. Tom McDougall explores the concepts of the groundbreaking leadership book, Karma Doesn't Need My Help, 11 weekly lessons to leadership success and peace. Now, let's jump into the episode.
This is Tom McDougall, author of the new leadership book, Karma Doesn't Need My Help, 11 weekly lessons to leadership success and peace, and welcome to the Karma Leadership 5-Minute Inspiration. Today's topic is one I keep getting asked as I'm speaking with groups. The question is, why has healthcare leadership become so hard? And I'm going to do a two-part on this 5-minute inspiration because there's really two different topics that have to be addressed. The first is what I refer to as the evolution of healthcare leadership over the past 6 years. If you go back before COVID, so we're talking about 2019 and earlier, strong leaders that built consensus but led with authority were respected and followed. They formulated a strategy, they informed others of the plan, that led to the consensus building, and then there was a process for execution. If you did this, people followed you. And then COVID hit early 2020. What was required at that time was a different type of leader than what was required just a month or two previously. An uber strong leader that had the answers even when they didn't was the leader that was needed. I remember distinctly, I was sitting in my physician lounge at the hospital, and we were dealing with a series of questions from the medical staff and from the leadership team there at the hospital. And what they wanted from me was an answer and a plan to the latest challenge. And honestly, I didn't know what I was doing at times, and I was kind of winging it as I was going. But I knew that's what my team wanted and needed, was that almost authoritarian approach, and one that was delivered with confidence that everything was going to be okay. If you did this, people followed you during this time period. Then move forward to the staffing crisis that happened after COVID, because this was the third evolution of healthcare leadership over the last 6 years. At that time, you almost needed a grandfatherly approach where everyone was loved, everyone was appreciated, and that was to keep the staff there at your hospital because we were losing staff faster than we could hire them. That led to gaps in accountability from a leadership perspective because we didn't want to be too accountability driven with our staff because if they felt a lot of pressure, they would just leave. And that didn't solve the problem. But if you took this approach during this period of the staffing crisis, people followed you. The fourth is the current situation that we are in, and this is the fourth evolution. I refer to as the post-staffing crisis through inflation and the COVID funding cuts. Very long answer. But we had to return to operational efficiency and an accountability model. And this required that we held others accountable. That our leaders had forgotten how to lead with accountability, and we needed to retrain them on that area. Unfortunately, I think we're still there. I think we are still trying to return to that approach of an accountability-driven leadership. And that leads to an interesting additional set of questions is why are we evolving so fast? I think it's because of the environment. The second question is what challenges does that create? The leader has to anticipate the next evolution and be prepared for that. So we've had times where we've had to have a different type of leader 4 different times in a 6-year period when most commonly that leader was in the same chair the entire time. And that creates just an entire set of challenges that we have to be prepared for. That leads to why I wrote the book, is that we have to continue to evolve as leaders. We have to continue to refine our skills. We have to recognize what our teams need from us and to deliver that. Because I always want people to follow me because they believe in how I'm leading and my approach for the organization and for the team. I don't want them to follow me because it has CEO on my badge. Thank you for joining the Healthcare Leadership 5-Minute Inspiration. To learn more, visit karmaleaders.com. Now go out there and make a difference.
Thank you for listening to the Karma Leaders Podcast. Please like and subscribe so you don't miss an episode. The views and opinions are only those of the host and guests and are not legal advice.